I started this podcast in December of 2023 because I was working with women with chronic health conditions, specifically autoimmune diseases, and I wanted to create a space where I could educate women around these health issues, what they were going through, the root causes, and what they needed to prioritize and why, and build that awareness so that they could actually get their life back, they could take specific action. And because the internet is a vast place and it's a lot of information out there, but it can become really really overwhelming. And that's why the first episodes were about gut health, autoimmunity, the root causes, and all of it, along with some practical steps that they could implement to manage their overwhelm, manage their mindset. And all of it was important. But somewhere along the way, somewhere along the course of 100 episodes, and this is the 100th episode, in fact, I'm really excited to talk about this. Some things shifted both in terms of what I wanted to focus on and what women actually needed the support with. And that's only time can tell, because I found that a majority of these women were already doing many of the things that I was talking about. Whether it was focusing on gut health, whether it was about taking certain supplements, a gut healing protocol, following certain diets, treatment plans. They were already doing all of these things, and these were, of course, important. But there was something that was, that was missing. Because again, they were doing the strength training, they were doing taking the supplements, and they were following this in a very, very step by step process with a lot of discipline, with willpower. But somehow they were stuck either physically or emotionally or both. And I kept seeing this time and time again when I had women who came to me after working with other functional medicine practitioners, other medical professionals, and I kept seeing this pattern repeat itself. And they were either not seeing significant improvements, or they were seeing certain improvements, but that was not holding. I mean, that was not sustainable. And it made me actually think that what might be missing. And that's where my work shifted towards. Because the thing is that she was not failing at healing. It was not her fault. She was exhausted from performing healing while trying to heal at the same time. And these are two different and distinct things. And that's something that I realized. Because she did not need more information, she did not need more protocol, and she did not need more strategies. What she needed was a place that she could simply be received as she was, right there and then, without the need to be fixed, without the pressure to perform or to be perfect. Because all her life, she had been told that her body was broken, that her body needed to be fixed, that she wasn't following the protocols perfectly, or that she wasn't disciplined enough. And somehow, in the midst of all this, of course, it was all her fault. Like, if only she followed the instructions a bit more carefully, if only she did this a bit more perfectly, right? This constant performance, the pressure to perform, was actually not helping. And in fact, she was the one. I mean, this is true for so many women. She was the one that she was measuring the protein intake. She was taking the protein powder daily. She went to the gym to train even on her worst days. She was taking those 10,000 steps meticulously. She followed a vegan and gluten-free diet, hoping that it would ease her pain. And she was tracking her symptoms in the middle of all this. Let me know if that is something that you can resonate with, like some of these things that you may be doing. But somehow she could never see any pattern that would tell her that what she was doing, it was actually helping or harming. Because in the middle of all this, in spite of doing all this, she still felt overwhelmed, she still felt exhausted, and she was losing hope of ever feeling like herself again. So clearly there was something that was going on. And here's what no one had told her: she didn't need to do more or earn her support. She needed to be held in a way that took the pressure off her, that took the pressure off her body, that took the pressure of her immune system to be ever so vigilant. And that space is not very easy to come by. That safety, that feeling of safety in your body is actually has to come before the strategy. And this is a place that you need to come to without needing to justify yourself or apologize for what your body can or cannot do right now. or constantly measure yourself against other people's standards, right? And it's exactly all the women that I was working with over the past 10 years of my coaching was stuck. Because when you can do this, when you can do exactly this, your body can finally exhale. Your symptoms may remain unchanged. Nothing on the surface may seem to have changed, but something inside you shifts. You feel connected to your body, maybe even for the very first time. And that is the time when you actually understand the language that your body has been speaking in all along. This constant struggle to overcome our body, to fight with our body, to make sure that it follows our instructions, that is what is actually costing us a lot. That is what is keeping us stuck, and that is what is preventing us from feeling at home in our bodies. So when you stop struggling, when you stop fighting, this constant fighting, for the first time maybe in your life, you actually feel peace, you actually feel at home in your body. So what I did was I built a container, and I built it backwards based on all these things that I learned over 100 episodes. I decided that I would lead with what it will never ask of her, what it will never ask of you. So there is nothing to keep up with, there is nothing to perform, and there is nothing to fail at. These are the triple negatives that I kept in mind, and it's designed to allow women like you to sit with what's true in your lives without feeling the need to fix it, to rush to fix it. Fixing has its place. There are protocols to be followed, there are strategies to be followed, but not at all points, and certainly not where you may be stuck right now. And I ran a poll even before I did this, even before I got started. I was thinking that maybe I should do a poll around it because I had a few thoughts in my mind, and 35 women responded within 22 hours, and 18, I actually did a poll for 35 women. 18 responded within 22 hours, but they didn't just vote, they wrote stories. And they this coming home was came out of that. And one woman wrote that coming home was the novel that she had always been meaning to write for a long time for herself. Another said that it meant choosing herself without needing anyone else's permission. So that told me that this name coming home wasn't mine. It belonged to these women. And finally, I understood what I was really building. So this coming home circle is actually a container that begins on June 2nd. It's for 9 weeks. There are only 20 women, 3 mornings a week, not daily, because I know what overwhelm from the inside looks like. And there are 3 live sessions every 3 weeks. They are for witnessing, not for coaching. They're for sharing. And the effortless healing companion, which runs underneath this, is the compassionate somatic AI. It sits with whatever surfaces. It doesn't fix anything. It just holds. Holds you. So if you're tired of performing at your own healing, then the coming home circle is for women who are just ready to be in it instead. I've shared the link below. We start June 2nd, and if any part of this essay felt like it was written for you, and if you could see yourself in the woman who was doing everything and still felt stuck, I want you to know something: you're not the only one. You're not the only one who's in this place. You're not the only one who's struggling like this. And in August, I'm opening 50 seats for the effortless healing companion. That's a separate 12-week program built on everything these 100 episodes have taught me. There is coaching, there is group container, there is one is to one container. There is a lot more in that. We will cover strategies as well. It's not another information, it's not another protocol, but it's about what women with chronic conditions actually need. And that's the August container, a space where you are received and just seen, just felt, just heard. And I've shared the link for the waitlist below. Yeah, and I'll see you next time.